Well, good evening, everyone. It's this cool, unusually cold southeast Texas evening, but I wanted to give you 5 of the last fixes I've done on the RV. I'm going to start from, let's see, the simple to the most severe that we've had. 1, RV breakers. RV breakers. So I know we're used to in the house where our breaker will go out and it might just be in the bathroom. Say your wife's using the hairdryer, right? And it sometimes trips a breaker. In this case, you can trip a breaker sometimes if you're using a hairdryer, you're running the hot pot. It just sort of depends on what's going on at the time. So there's that. Also, some of the other electrical things you have to consider is when that breaker in the bathroom goes out, you just shut off breakers probably to most of your plugins in the RV. So please keep that in mind. Let's do for a second one would be you have to do what I call black tank washing, or what would you call flushing, right? So there's usually a flush port, and on that flush port you plug in your hose and you flush it out. That helps to maintain your tank. After you do so, make sure you put some kind of tank treatment inside. Number 3, this one got a little serious, is that we've had issues with black tank developing a pile inside, right? And so I've had to treat it. Number 1 resource that I find that helps is called Clean It. You can look it up on Amazon. It's a great product. Something else that we had, and it was quite severe, and that was the classic poop pyramid. And so that's when you actually get a blockage in your pipe, because it usually goes straight down and then there's a blockage under it. That means you either didn't have enough liquid going through the system, or it just wasn't breaking down fast enough. Another thing that worked: Clean It, enzymes, and flushing. Pretty much, if you use flushing, you can flush that out. It just is going to take longer. So you flush it, you let the tank fill, then you empty it out. And it's just a different way of getting water into the system through the flush port. Also, it helps to put a little bit of Dawn, and so, Dawn and some water through the toilet, and you're flushing at the same time. It helps that material break down. You don't want it to get to the point where it blocks the actual septic system part of your RV. Something else to think about is your propane. So say your propane runs out, and there is the potential possibility that it's going to trigger an error on your system. So that error is going to shut down your ability to run anything into propane, right? It won't light your propane, basically. And so what I have found for that, now this is my particular trailer, which is a Brinkley. So this one, the Furrion heater, has a tendency to air out once it runs out of propane. So I turn the system down to a very low degree. I go out, I turn off the propane, I swap the bottle, turn the propane back on. Then I go to the stove and I light the propane on the stove first to kind of get it going through the system. And then after I'm done with that, I'll go back in and I'll make sure that the thermostat is turned off. I'll wait 15 to 20 seconds. It's all it takes. Then I turn the thermostat back on. Then I make sure to turn the thermostat above the internal temperature by about 5 degrees. Watch that heater kick on, and then my system is basically reset. So those are the main things. That's probably more than 5, but that's the main things that's going on. And as you can see, I'm bundled up. So you want to take those into consideration. Cold weather, you want to prepare. If you think you're going to get below 32 for several hours on end, just most of the modern day RVs have the underbelly, it's heated. So if you bring your hose in, it'll probably not freeze up during the night. So what else was going on? So if you've made it this far in the video, I want to thank you. And I'd like you to just take the moment, and if you'd like me to share more of these inside tips, I can basically print out all of my troubleshooting that I've done since I've had this particular RV, and I can give you my personal one too. So click the like button and do a comment down below of the types of RV issues that you've had and you would like me to address. Um, I've been educating myself in all of the electrical systems and solar, Victron, Go Power, and Battleborn. So I've taken a lot of training in RV because I want to be able to fix my own RV. So I'm up to basically, I don't know, what would you call it? Level 1 to level 2 RV tech land, but I have a past of being able to fix systems. So for me, it wasn't very difficult to kind of come up to speed. Um, if you want to learn to fix your own RV, there's schools, but RVTI is kind of where I go. It's my go-to. It's like 600 and something dollars. It lasts a whole year. You get access to all their stuff, but you can download the modules, all of the PDFs, and you can keep those. And I basically take all of those PDFs and I put them into my own personal little database that I've created so I can pull up information about fixing RVs. It helps me with troubleshooting, and basically I get things done a little bit faster. So I hope you're having a warmer weather RVing than I am. But if you're not, and you're also having an unusually cold winter and you're in the South, stay warm and it looks like I'm here in Texas. This is going to pass by, tonight, and then it starts warming up tomorrow, and we'll be back in the 60s and 70s before you know it, and all the critters will wake back up. Um, it's pretty quiet here. I hear coyotes. As you can hear, I heard nothing else. From time to time, I hear coyotes, so it's pretty quiet. And take it easy, and I'll see everybody on the next video.